Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order and have pledge of allegiance, Robert. What are you looking at? There's no flag over there.
We're good.
Okay, good. Take your hat off.
Oh, Ed, you gotta take your hat off. I'm sorry.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Thank you, Ed.
You're welcome. It
I
is
didn't
a
know
patriotic hat. It's got the flag on, just like.
Like your mama.
It does, actually. Attendance, everyone here is in the office except Al is on Zoom. Hey, are you there, Al?
Yep.
Okay, amend the agenda if you have an agenda in front of you. I'm just gonna amend it to put resignation letter after or before public comment.
Don't go.
You want it below public comment?
Yeah.
Okay,
Before
after,
public, right? Either way.
either way, it can be after public comment, okay. That's it. Do you have anybody else have an amendment to the agenda? None? Okay, public comment. Any public comment? Oh, somebody's coming in, but no. Okay, open the special meeting. Well, this is a special meeting. It actually is already open, okay. Recycle property, purchase property, recycle. Different stuff. So there's two things I wanted to talk about, the property across the street and the property next to the fairgrounds. So we have the purchase offer that was in and signed by Mr. Seymour. They have finally got the probate situation decided where they could sell the property. That's been the hang up since we signed the paper that wasn't in the proper name and the title. I conversed with him and told him since that point in time that another option had come up for the township, which is the property across the street. And I just feel like we owe him, either we tell him one way or another, or we decide on what we're gonna do over here, and then it's not fair to him if he truly still wants to sell it, so. I don't know which way the board wants to go. I talked to Mr. Garrett. Mr. Garrett's on board with, it would be 75,000. He'll donate the rest of the value. He'd like to be involved in with his architect, even at his expense, to draw up plans for it. I said we'd be more than willing to entertain that. Especially if it doesn't cost us anything. The only thing he asked was for his part of the donation, if maybe we could put a plaque on it that would say that he had donated some money towards, if it's pickleball courts or whatever it is, or with their family name. And I said, I bring that up to the board, but I didn't think that was an issue at all. The one thing he doesn't want there is recycle bins. I'm sorry,
Where is this?
Shirley's,
Oh, Shirley, okay.
you know.
Where's the
So
one over by the fairgrounds?
right north of the fairgrounds entrance,
Where the Lions park their cars.
Where the Lions
Oh,
park.
where the lions are, okay.
so,
Where would recycle go?
well, the recycle that's another issue, and I talked to Mr. Dance about that again today, and I don't know why we can't use the property east of Mr. Seymour's, where the building is, that blue building at the fair, there's plenty of room there for the recycle trailers, and I think he's on board with that. The problem we have there is we have to do something with the road, irregardless. Because that's not a class A highway, I guess. But
That we're looking at across the street from the township hall, would it only be used for pickleball?
no, I think you could do, Al, I think the options there are unlimited of what we could do. I mean, at some point, we talked about having a different township hall and turning this all over to the fire department. And that wouldn't be a bad thing to do, is expand that and have a new hall there. It's big enough to do that and give this whole office complex to the fire department at some point down the road. I mean, not technically right away, but at some point.
And in the meantime, you need storage for park stuff and.
We can use the building, put a garage door in the back of it and use that whole building for storage. Wouldn't have to put a storage building up. The well runs, by the way, he's gonna give me a key tomorrow for filling the petunias. He said he's more than happy to do that till we own it. He said he never shut the well off and he thinks the power and heat is on. So, I'll find out tomorrow.
We left a wall on, it's froze.
I think to take a look at and get a better understanding of is, the traffic situation at that corner. Some accidents that have happened there, and if we,
And where out?
that curve, you know, you cross the 8 Mile, go down 20, go north of 22, make that big curve, where Evie's house is, the house next to Evie's house, got knocked off its foundation, about 2 years ago.
Okay,
I'd be really concerned with recycle because there would be a lot of traffic there and
oh, I don't think anyone, the more we talk about it, is in tune to put recycle trailers at Shirley's anymore anyways, it really wouldn't fit the, well, he's not, he said recyclable.
Al, are you talking about recycling or pickleball?
how do you mean?
Well, what point are you making is what, that, you're talking about from somebody coming around the curve on 8 Mile could possibly come all the way down here and hit the pickleball courts?
Not 8 Mile.
No, I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is the traffic where there's people coming around that curve, people are trying to get out of the Township Hall area. People are trying to get out of the other side of the road from the hall. That's just a high level of traffic with not very good speed controls.
Well, no, I think most people on the board, I'm not gonna speak for the board, everyone could say their own piece, but I don't think that would be a proper place for the recycle trailers either, I guess. There's not much room unless you put them on the alley. I'd like to pursue, we don't have to provide a spot, the county's supposed to provide a spot, and that spot over on, is it John Street?
John Street.
Would be a perfect spot. Down there by the building, it's all open ground as it is, you can pull in there right now with a truck and put the recycle trailers there.
The fair owns that chunk right there.
The county owns it.
Yeah, come.
The county owns it. They already own the property. To me, that makes more sense than
That's it.
handing it over here in town. There's not enough room for the trailer anyways there, so you're
And
gonna
it
have.
gives us, if we end up buying the property, it gives us more options,
I think to me it is, but it's a board decision, but I think we pursue that, and I don't know, I'd tell Mr. Seymour, we're just gonna bow out.
That property's at the end of Seymour's.
Correct. I drove in there again today to look, there's plenty of room to get recycled trailers and that cardboard trailer in there. Down by the building.
What's the matter with your tongue?
What's what?
What's the matter with your tongue? You keep saying recycled trailer.
Oh, cardboard trailer. I'm sorry, that's the school's trailer. I understand that, but there is room for that down there, Al, or Al, Bob. So I told both people I would call them one way or another and let them know what we would decide to do.
Well, Dave, have you determined with Jeff Downs that it's the county's responsibility to find a site for their recycling program that we just pay an assessment on?
Well, it is, but has he said that out loud? No.
Well, I get that, but
I don't,
we played nice for how many years here?
right.
I don't know that it's our responsibility on a county program that they're collecting money for to provide a site for those recycling containers. The county.
I would agree with that.
I'm concerned that if there's an issue with that road, that we're gonna be on the hook to do something with that, but maybe you just let that go and see where that ends up, but. If we don't have to provide a recycling container, then I think this is a much better location for our needs than that down there.
And I think the recycled trailers where they are actually is a way better spot, but nobody else thinks that. And maybe we should pursue that with the county again. I mean, since they've been there, the Lions have had one event or two events, no one has. I mean, the only time that there's people in there to any extent is the fair, and there's not many people in there, is there?
So this doesn't have the parcel map, but you're talking about this area right here, right?
Correct.
Cause that lot ends right here.
That end was there, but see how much room there is, there's gravel there, you could put a circular driveway and drive right in and out.
They use that in the summer for a mobile home camping for the people that are racing and stuff like that.
No,
Not there.
that's, not
No,
there. It's
not
right
there.
behind the blue building. Right behind the roof, you see, it's right in that area.
Yeah,
That's where they camp.
so it wouldn't affect that, that's what I
And it's
heard.
over on the side, and it's over on the side of the store port right there. It would, that lot right there.
So yeah, this is a great location for recycling, gets the township out of that business. Schools, if they want their trailer and the county doesn't want it here, then the schools are gonna have to figure out a spot to put the trailer, because they're the ones that are getting the money for it. but maybe they can do both of them here.
There's room.
And this location right here, directly across from the township hall.
You're
It's
fine.
in the lake.
In the lake, that's right. I mean, this makes perfect sense to me.
You have to be concerned with,
What, Al?
are there any zoning,
No, I just called Katie, that we're kind of, governments are
I mean,
immune. I mean, we'd still follow zoning, but I mean, we're immune to the certain things, so.
I would be in favor of that if we said that we're purchasing that property in anticipation of the next 50 years, things might change for the township. And that would be an ideal spot to put a, if we were gonna do anything building wise.
So,
You really don't know if this incorporation thing might come
Yeah,
up again.
we can,
well, so if you put it over there by that blue building, then we've got traffic behind us all the time, probably coming in from both angles. We're on a dirt road back there. Are you to pave that road?
not, I don't know if there's, I haven't even talked about it. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have a lot more traffic going back on K Street back there. This John Street
first
turns
part of
into
it
K
paved?
Street.
This is paved.
Well, I
Yeah,
would think,
so they
I'm
wouldn't
not
be
saying they
going
don't
back
go
there,
that way, I would think
there.
most of the people are gonna go right out to
You
22.
think they're gonna come in and go back out?
Well, yeah, why
I
would
would.
you?
Yeah, I
I
would
wouldn't go
too.
down the dirt road.
Mhm.
Most people won't do that, they're gonna, and it's shorter going back that way, why would anyone go around?
Especially if they're
Well,
coming from
where they're
Onekama,
coming
depends on where they're coming from,
Where they're
that's
coming
true.
from?
Yeah, well, they're gonna be coming from Onekama, and most people recycle here are,
Yeah,
well, and not all, but some from Bear Lake, and I don't know how many Manistee Township people. What, no? Well,
Of course they use our facilities.
well, sure they do, they don't have one,
yeah,
They did.
well, they don't anymore,
Yeah.
so,
I'd have to have a conversation with Mr. Berquist about that.
you know.
They probably ought to reinstitute that. So my observation is that the location across the street with Mr. Garrett's generous offer and the fact that we found a potential spot for the recycling is a way better location for the township to acquire and to make future investments in. And I have heard a few people say, well, but that's a prime location and there'll never be a restaurant again. Well, they don't have their liquor license, so it's never gonna be a restaurant again. I don't think everybody's gonna spend the money on that building. Personally, I'd like to see more restaurants in town. I don't see that happening there.
Space.
And it gives us a location where we can address a lot of demand for pickleball, right here where we can keep an eye on it. I think you could fit a couple courts in there easily. It may have restrooms available, and I just think it makes a whole lot of sense personally.
We turn it over too, I would guess you'd turn it over to Parks and Rec, get some opinions and get some, you know, stuff out there.
But it's certainly convenient, it's right there. That's my thoughts on
Okay, Amber?
I agree completely. I like it's convenient right here. If this wants to ever expand for a bigger fire department or a full-time department, we can move township over there.
Okay, Bob,
Already,
you kind of already, Al?
with the recycle thing going the way it's going for this thing, my objection last time to this thing was not to put the recycle there. That objection's been met, so I'd support it.
Okay. Anybody wants to ask a question from the public? I had public comment, but
I
you
would rather have the pickleball on Third Street than on Second Street.
it. You'd rather have it here?
Yes. Get it away from that corner a little bit.
you can talk about all that.
Yeah, you got options once you have the property secured, so.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion, if somebody wants to make a motion, I'll try to get Mr. Garrett, we'll do a deed and all that.
I'll make a motion that we inform Mr. Seymour that we're not interested in that property anymore.
Okay,
One that we did a purchase offer on.
is there a second?
I'll
Yeah.
second that. Oops,
Second
You got
by
it,
Bob, okay, discussion? None, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I-
Aye, opposed? That's carried.
And And then I'll make a second motion that the supervisor negotiate a purchase agreement for the property across the street that we're looking at. Contingent upon getting a satisfactory preliminary evaluation from the environmental people.
Okay, is there a second for that?
Yes.
Okay, any discussion? Purchase price, we've talked about what he wanted was half, what he has 150 and he wants 75. Didn't talk about closing costs, it's just discussion, didn't talk
We'll
about that.
bring back,
I'll bring back something,
Negotiate.
okay, that's fine, I'll bring back the negotiated thing to the board to, I'll just pursue it, basically. Any other discussion? None, probably have to have a roll call, won't we?
Yes, you
Amber,
Yes,
Ed,
yes,
Al,
Yes,
Bob,
Yes.
and David, yes, okay. Okay, moving on to public comment.
no,
Oh, Al first, I'm sorry, Al.
oh, yeah, whatever.
We can do Al. Well, Al, since you're on the phone, I have a letter and would you like to say something?
Got to close the special meeting.
It's-
It is.
This is a special meeting.
just for those that don't know, I got Parkinson's disease. Excuse me, and it affects the way I able to do things in my movement. To the point where I couldn't do the job of township trustee. I couldn't do the job that I need to be able to do to make that a viable position. So I've decided that I'm not gonna run for a second term. And the situation in the past 6 months has gotten worse with the physical aspect of it. So I'd like to resign now and leave that area open to be filled by the board with somebody that can do the job. I hate to leave, but I'm gonna stay with the Parks and Rec Committee and I'll stay on the invasive species. Because those are two things I'd like to see finished up and I'd like to participate in finishing those up. And don't require me to go out and use what's left of my legs.
Okay, and you're gonna stay on, you'll probably be on these Zoom meetings, well, for the township meeting anyways, to some extent, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I attended every board meeting since I moved here 12 years ago, or 14 years ago, so.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna read your letter then, okay? Hold
Yeah.
on. So I got a letter addressed to me, Township Supervisor, Onekama Township, David. My health continues to deteriorate. Regrettably, I have to resign from my current term as an Onekama trustee. I will not seek another term. I will continue my role in the Invasive Species Committee, and I will be available for consultation as needed on township matters as my health allows. Sincerely, Alan R. Taylor. So I'm in receipt of that letter. I would need a motion from someone on the board to accept Al's resignation.
I will do that.
Bob made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it with regrets.
Thank you. Thank you, Ed. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Al, I have accepted your resignation letter with regret, so, I understand them, so. Appreciate everything you've done for the last, it's been 12 years, a long time.
At least that.
Well, probably longer than that, actually, between the other committees you're on.
2009 was when I worked, when I first started here.
Okay. Well, thank you. I should mention, so since Al is resigned today, the board has 45 days to fill the position for trustee. So I would think we need to put in the minutes. I guess I'd like to ask anyone who wants to apply for the position. You've got a bunch of people registered now to run.
there's 5 that have turned in petitions for trustee positions, so I'd like to reach out to each one of them as well to invite
Okay,
them.
so I'd reach out to all of them and say, we'd like to have like a cover letter, maybe a resume.
I can put something on the website.
Put some on the website and it's open to everyone. I know we had 5 applicants and we had one that was talking about running as an independent, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so, but it's open to everybody. You don't have to have an
Are we
application.
planning on doing this at the next regular meeting then?
I would think so. Do you think that's enough time?
Yeah.
Okay,
October 2.
If you could send all the letter to all the people who turned in a petition to run, and we'll put it on the website, and we'll, if we can have it here before our next meeting, we'll appoint somebody. That gives us. What is today, 2 weeks? Well, not quite 2 weeks. Our meeting is May 8th, correct?
Yep.
1 week, so a week and a half, that should be enough time.
And you want a resume and cover letter?
I would think so.
Not really.
Well, what do you want?
Yes, I want a
Yeah.
resume and cover letter.
I don't want something 50.
Well, no, we don't.
The cover and a resume, that's
Wow.
like 2 pages.
Wow. I'm asking for a biography.
Right, a resume
I
and
didn't say a
a cover
biography, I
letter.
said a cover letter and a resume.
My resume would go
Yes,
part of that.
well, that's okay, but then you can turn that in if you want. You're not running again, right? No, there you go, so it really doesn't matter. I just think it's appropriate to do it that way, right? You got 5 people, you got 6
One
people.
paragraph.
You could do that if you want.
No. Cover letter
Just
and
let the
resume.
cover letter, yeah.
I know, just let them talk. Okay, so with that is done, then Al, thank you
Thanks, Al.
for your service for all these years.
Uh, we're gonna continue for a few more.
It'll continue, you just gotta keep going, that's the toughest deal, so. That's it under public comment, if anyone has anything else.
I would just like to say I'm disappointed you let him resign.
Oh,
I'm kidding. Thank
okay.
you, Al. He's done a great job.
That's it, nobody else? That's the last thing on our meeting agenda. Okay, I'll adjourn.
Attaboy.
That was a short meeting.
Boy.